Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marani.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
Some people think it's the best time of the week, Tuesday morning. You know what that means?
It's Tony time.
Our brand new Wrestling Insiders is next.
I am going to be the man that leads this industry into the next decade.
Seth Rollins blazes his way into Allentown.
Side by side with the AOP.
I'm not leaving without dropping Seth Rollins to the stunner.
Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins in a massive main event. Plus, see the Fiend Bray Wyatt. It's the WWE Live Road to WrestleMania Super Show in Allentown on Saturday, March 7th. Tickets and WWE Superstar Experience packages are available.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders. It's Tuesday morning. There's no place I'd rather be on Tuesday than with Tony.
That's right, because I'm the Beast of the East, SOS, simply out of sight.
Unbelievable wrestling fans, let's talk about some of the excitement we have coming up before we get to today's topic at hand. We got questions galore coming in from you guys around the corner and around the world. We love it. We love the interaction. We love to talk wrestling here on the show. The Indiegogo we have coming up is going to be very important because we need your help. But nonetheless, something else we want you to be engaged with, if you're 18 and over, is MWF Project X Loose Cannons, brought to you by Brian Pillman Jr. in Club Cam Zagami's Uprising, Saturday night, March the 28th, from Once Somerville in Somerville, Massachusetts. Our first event in Somerville in 12 years. I can't wait to get back to Somerville. It's going to be a great, fantastic night of hard-hitting professional wrestling. Keep the kids at home, keep the sports entertainment at home. We're going to have a night of professional wrestling at Once Somerville. There will be adult beverages available to those that are 21 plus. If that is something that interests you, it's going to be a hot night of action with the athletes of today, the future WWE, the future AEW stars of tomorrow. You're really going to love this one. Then the next weekend, Tony, you know, you and I are going to be in high gear. We're getting on that bird, baby. We're flying down to Tampa, Florida. It's WrestleMania weekend, April 3rd, April 4th. Mr. USA Tony Atlas, Dutch Mantel, Zeb Colter, and the fellow Hall of Famer, Jerry Brisco, are all going to be at the Boston Wrestling Sports booth at WrestleCon. George Steinbrenner Field, the spring training home of the New York Yankees. I believe the field is actually almost across the street from where WrestleMania 36 will be, at the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Finally, all roads head north. We're coming back to Memorial Hall in Melrose, 2 blocks down the street. What's that address?
590 Main Street.
You got it, brother. 590 Main Street, Memorial Hall, MWF Project X, back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday night, April the 11th. Tony, I have the vibe that this could be, if not the biggest, one of the biggest events in MWF history. The fans love this concept. Again, we have 8 great talents that are going to be with us. Yourself, Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Road Warrior Animal, Axe and Smash Demolition, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, the genius Lanny Poffo, plus a great night of live professional wrestling with these great athletes. We're going to have, this reunion we're going to have April 11th. If you were a fan of 80s wrestling and you can get to Melrose, you're going to be nuts not to be there. VIP tickets are on sale now. Admission tickets are on sale now. For everything we're talking about, head on over to the BostonWrestling.com super site. Tony, did I cover it all?
Yes, you did.
All right. Tony, let's go through the book. We're going to talk to our good friend Dora from Revere, Tony. She sent in an email. She wants to know, what do you think of the prospects of Drew McIntyre being a main eventer in WWE? I know you have seen Drew. You did an appearance with him throwing out first pitch at a baseball game, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think Drew has main event material?
Yeah.
He won the Royal Rumble this year?
I'd say yes.
You do?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Well, he's a big, strong, scrappy young man. His career had just started. There's a lot of mileage left in that young man, and they can go a long way with him. He's a big, strong, hard-working kid, very talented. And he got a lot going for him. Yes, Drew should be a main eventer. Yeah, I mean, he paid his dues. He's no spring chicken. I mean, he was there back when I was there back in 2000.
Oh,
you
yeah.
talk about, You're not talking about a beginner here. We say Drew McIntyre. You're talking about a veteran.
Well,
He's been in the WWE now, what, about 10 years now, if not more?
He had a long absence, and then he came back.
Yeah, but he's been in the business for over 10 years now. Because he was back when I was there, managing Mark Henry. He was there, you know.
He's well tenured in this business.
Yeah. So he paid his dues, and you know, if you've been in the business, and then you're not going to find many guys left. As big as he is anymore. I mean, he's a big kid.
That's one thing he's got going for him, is size. And a lot of guys don't have size.
Yeah, he's a big kid, and in great shape, great personality, hard working, good company man. What more can you ask for? Yes, I think he's be main event material.
Well, I tell you, Tony, you know I was down in Houston, Texas a few weeks back for the Royal Rumble event. After Brock Lesnar eliminated 13 or 14 guys in a row, it was a one-man machine, one of the better booked Royal Rumbles I think I've ever seen. McIntyre was the guy to eliminate Brock Lesnar from the match, which is going to lead to the WWE Universal Championship match. I think the WWE Championship match. I get them confused. They flip-flop the brand so often, which isn't a good thing. But it'll be Lesnar and McIntyre for the title at WrestleMania 36 in Tampa. It got a great reaction live, but I tell you this, Tony, I don't see him as a main event guy. He's got a great personality. He's a nice guy. I've met him a few times. Good guy. Hard-working guy, like you said. He's got great size that very few guys have. I just don't see the charisma. I just think there's something missing. A couple of years ago, I thought he could have had maybe a top main event heel spot when he was getting ready to go with Roman before Roman got sick. And I don't know, it was like whatever he had going for him in late 2018 just kind of popped and deflated. I think it'd be good for the business if I'm wrong. I just don't see him as a guy that could be a top-tier flag bearer for the company. I don't know if it's because he has the accent. I can't think of. I asked people this question. Oh, all right. When was the last really good Drew McIntyre match you saw? I can't think of one. I don't know.
You sound like
who?
Ole Anderson talking about Hulk Hogan.
Really?
You sound like Vince Sr. talking about Hulk Hogan.
Really? I don't think Drew
What make a wrestler is timing. Timing is everything. A lot of people say that Sheik was not a great wrestler. I mean, he didn't do drop kicks. He didn't do a lot of offensive moves. But the Sheik was the man that set the fire to Hulkamania.
The Iron Sheik you're talking about.
It depends on who they put him with. Now, if they put him with a guy that don't have a lot of color, like Brock Lesnar, that's why without Paul Heyman, imagine Brock Lesnar without Paul Heyman.
It takes away from the presentation.
They need Paul. He need Paul to give him some type of, to make him look like he's living.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock is not.
Are you not a Lesnar guy?
Exactly. Well, no, I like Brock. I like him a lot. But it takes something. If you take McIntyre and put him against Triple H, you will get a better response, a better match than you will. I saw The Rock in one good match. I mean, a fantastic match. But he was wrestling Triple H. My best matches, I was wrestling Harley Race, Ric Flair. They don't have the talent to, it's a matchup. It's just like Rick and Steamboat. Ric Flair had a lot of great matches. But the match with Ric Flair and Rick and Steamboat, Flair made Steamboat. Steamboat had a lot of matches with other people. Didn't go too well. But as soon as they put Flair and Rick the Dragon Steamboat together, man, oh man, them two could go at it like you were not. Magic. They just got to find the magic. It's not, it takes two to tango in wrestling. That's the only problem. You hook the person up like tag team. You can ask any wrestler, the best tag team partner I ever had in my life was Tommy Wildfire Rich, TNT. We electrified Georgia. I teamed up with Kevin Sullivan. It was okay, but not like Tommy. I teamed up with Rocky Johnson. It was okay, but not like Tommy. I teamed up with SD Jones. It was okay, but not like me and Tommy. TNT was the team. It's like the Brisco brothers. When they put the two Brisco brothers, electrified. You take Gerald, put him with somebody else, you don't have the same thing. The Funks were the same way. They just ain't figured out, they got so much that they not really looking at who could put a fire on this kid. You put that kid in with the right opponent. My opinion, this WrestleMania, McIntyre should walk right up on national TV and snap Triple H across the face and bring him back in the ring. That match will electrify the world. Triple H is still the best they got. They put him in a suit, they're trying to put him in the office. They took what the big drawing company, they feel, well, you know, he's in the office now, he shouldn't be doing this, he shouldn't be doing that. No, they should put that man in the ring, because every WrestleMania I went to, the only guy that I've seen in that ring that really, really make you believe that what you seen is for real was Triple. I saw The Rock. That was the best match The Rock ever had in his life. He never had a match like that before. I thought it was for real. Undertaker. That's why for so many years, you know. But you have to put Taker, as great as Taker is, you have to put him with the right opponent. Right. It don't mean nothing. You go. I seen him wrestle Mark Henry. I seen him wrestle this guy. I seen him wrestle that guy. And it didn't click. But then you put Taker against a certain person, and it just clicked. Muhammad Ali fought a lot of people. But when somebody talk about Muhammad Ali, oh, the Ali Frazier fight. Ali Frazier. Ali never had an opponent like Frazier.
You know what, Tony, hold on one second. I'm hearing something from the sound booth. We're having technical difficulties. We're going to take a brief timeout. We'll be right back. A little bit more with Tony's thoughts on Drew McIntyre. Stand by.
For the first time ever in Philly, get locked in to WWE Elimination Chamber. 6 superstars with nowhere to go.
Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan,
Shinsuke Nakamura,
King Corbin, Robert Roode.
Locked in for an opportunity at the Universal Championship.
You want a WrestleMania moment? You gotta win this match.
It's WWE Elimination Chamber, live in Philadelphia on Sunday, March 8th. Tickets are available.
All right, Tony, welcome back. I tell you, are we lucky to have Walter Hillside in the control room or what?
Yes, we do.
Fans don't realize it. We wouldn't have this show if it wasn't for Walter Hillside.
Oh, yeah.
We might do a lot of talking, but this man, he does everything back there. He's great.
He's fantastic.
He's fantastic. All right, Tony, I know you're
well, what they need to do with Drew McIntyre.
All right, back to Drew.
They need to find a good opponent for him.
Is Lesnar the guy?
Because in the wrestling world, like I just said before the break, my 2 best opponents in my whole career was Abdullah the Butcher. Mm-hmm. I had some of my best matches with him, and Harley Race. Outside of that, most of my matches was so-so. But when you see, if you can find a match of me and Harley Race, you go, what a freaking match. You see a match of me and Abdullah the Butcher, what a freaking match. You go to Carlos Colon. Carlos Colon had his best matches with Abdullah. So once in a while you would meet an opponent that is absolutely perfect for you. The Frazier-Ali fights would go on forever. Even though he fought George Foreman, Larry Holmes, all these other people, when you talk about Ali, they think about Joe Frazier. Because that was his perfect opponent. Kind of like the Red Sox and the
Yankees.
Yeah, and the Yankees. I mean, the Red Sox can play anybody, but when they played the Yankees, all eyes is on it. It just is that rivalry team. It's like Notre Dame against it rivalry. Everybody got a rivalry, and so far they just started looking at him. They have not found that rivalry for him yet. Once they found that, I think he's gonna do a hell of a job for the company.
I can see them maybe wanting to have the championship on television more, putting the belt on McIntyre at WrestleMania. Do you think it's too soon to give him the belt and have him go over on Lesnar clean?
As long as they don't put it back on Kofi Kingston ain't doing all
Well, I
right.
think the ship has sailed on Kofi.
The ship should have never landed.
Well, you know what? It was a great feel-good
Kofi,
moment.
don't get me wrong, I like Kofi as a friend. I do. I
Great,
like
great
Kofi
human
very,
being.
very
Great
much.
human being.
Great human being, and one of the best athletes that WWE had. Him and Shelton Benjamin, the ability they could do in the ring is absolutely phenomenal. But there's certain spots for certain people.
And he wasn't a world champion.
He was not world champion.
I agree, and I think the world of Kofi, but I agree with
too,
you.
But you can't sell him as a champion.
And it failed.
Well, because
It
people,
failed.
when you look at a champion, you look at something that, that is spectacular, something that is.
And he is spectacular,
right.
but not in that
But
role.
a champion is telling the public, this is the best we got. That's what championship means, that this is the best we have to offer. And then when you take your world champion and you put him against the tennis world champion, which is Serena Williams, and the tennis female world champion is bigger and more muscular than your champion, and you're supposed to be a wrestler, something wrong with that picture. Unfortunately, wrestling have always been a big man sport. I mean, they got smaller guys doing it now, but it's like in boxing. The only guy that outside of heavyweights that ever got any recognition in boxing was kind of like Mayweather and Sugar Ray Leonard, but the rest was all heavyweight. You know, people like the big guys. I just hate to say it, but they do when it comes to combat. It's just hard for people to believe that a small guy, even though in many cases it can be true, but people just they want to see something that's bigger than life. And Kofi, I don't think he really gave them, even Biggie. Biggie is wide as a refrigerator.
Oh, Big E.
Big E. He's wide as a refrigerator, but he's only 5'4". That's the only problem. You know, people, from what they have seen, like I said, to follow Hulk Hogan, to follow Stone Cold Steve Austin, to follow Undertaker, they see too much greatness. And it's going to be very, very hard for anybody in the WWE, anyone, I don't care who it is, anybody in the WWE to get that big again, because, I mean, you got to realize Vince had gave the world such greatness that how you going to get greater? I mean, of all the big men that you ever saw in your life, the Great Khali, the Big Show, all these big so-called giants, none of them filled the footstep of Andre. It was just these type people come along once every blue moon. It may be 10 years before Vince found somebody that could top what he did. Because he did so many great things, and the more things you do, the harder it is to overcome that.
Yep, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, to overcome it.
But in the
so
end,
he got a long road. And all these other guys, like Cody and all them guys, they're going to do well for about a year or so, and then they're going to fizzle out.
Well, let me ask you this: if
if Cody listening, if he's listening,
all right,
what is ANT?
AEW.
AEW.
On TNT.
Right. If Cody want that company to grow, retire from the ring. Because while you're in the ring, you will never see the forest for the trees. Because you will never let anybody get a hold of you, over top of you. This is Vince Sr. and Jr. success. Junior always want to be a wrestler. Senior said no. Because when you're a wrestler, you think like a wrestler. You think like a wrestler. You don't think like a promoter. And a wrestler think about keeping himself on top. In a couple of years, if he's not careful, instead of be AWE, it's going to be Cody. He's going to wrap it all around him if he ain't careful. He's a young kid now. He got a great opportunity. But I've seen it happen with Gerald the King Lawler. I've seen it happen with his father in Florida.
That was disastrous.
I see it happen with the Von Erichs. I've seen it happen with whenever a promoter put his kids or put himself in the ring. they would let nothing get bigger than them. So AWE, the biggest thing they ever going to see as long as Colter is in that ring is Colter. So if Colter is not the best thing AWE got to offer, they will never see anything bigger than him because he will not allow it. There's no promoter or booker in the world that would let any wrestler be above them. You understand?
Very
now,
true.
when Vince went into the ring, you got to give him credit. He didn't go in the ring to put Vince over. He went in the ring to put other people over.
Right.
When he fought Donald Trump, he put Trump over. When he fought Stone Cold, he took the stunner from Cold Stone. Vince never put himself over his talent because he knew the fans paid to see Stone Cold, not Vince. Colter got to realize that there are going to be guys, that's why a lot of guys left that program when Hogan went down. And they put Hogan, he was still in the ring, but he was controlling the matches, he was controlling the outcome of the matches. So Hogan, everybody know Hogan is never going to let Booker T or any of them guys become bigger than him.
Right.
The Von Erich was never going to let any wrestler get bigger than the Von Erich. Dusty Rhodes is never going to let any wrestler in Florida get bigger than him. The Gerald the King Lawler was never going to let any wrestler get bigger than Gerald the King Lawler. And every promoter all through history, that Johnny Weaver was the first one that warned me about this. I learned a lot from Johnny Weaver. Johnny Weaver was the booker.
Penny?
Yeah, he was the booker at one time in Mid-Atlantic. And the territory was not drawing any money. That's when they brought in George Scott. George Scott, as soon as he got the book, he was arrested for it. They called him the Flying Scots brother. But as soon as George took the trunks, got the book, he took the trunks off. And he the one that brought Shotty alive. He the one that created Ric Flair and all these Steamboat and all these great guys that came out there because he got out of the ring. He became a booker, not a wrestler. And right now, the thing that I think is going to hurt that company is that Colter is in the ring. It's the same thing happened, what was it, TNA?
Yep.
Was that it?
TNA, yep.
Hogan had the book, they were still in the ring. What happened to TNA?
Well, very rarely, but I see your point.
He was the main person.
The main focus of the show.
The main focus of the show. He did not let these other guys, he won't let them spread their wings.
Right.
Because as soon as they started getting more popular than him, he clipped their wings. You see what I'm saying? Now, Vince, so far, have not done that. Triple H is running the book now. That's why he got out of the ring. Because he knows by being a booker and being in the ring, he's not going to let nobody go over him. He's not going to let nobody destroy his reputation in the business. So he's going to put himself over everybody. And that's the unfortunate thing about the guys that try to book and promote too. I watched the beginning. You remember you told me to watch because they were just starting both simultaneously, right?
Yep.
What I noticed about AEW, what was the main focus of the first show? See?
Cody Rhodes was part of it, yeah.
That's right. And every time you watch it, what's the main focus?
Well, he's one of the main focuses. Jericho has a big push with the group. John Moxley, the former Dean Ambrose, has a great spot and is focused on the Young Bucks, who are also, quote-unquote, office with them.
But who got the main focus?
I would say Cody.
See?
Yeah.
It's the Cody Rhodes show. Like in Florida with the Dusty Rhodes. That'll fly for a while. But then you go, what happens is that people are going to see somebody they really like. And then the office won't give it to them. And then they lose interest. If these people are really for this guy, not to get into politics, just an example, okay? 2016 election, President Trump, thousands of people come out to see him. Thousands. On the other side of the fence, thousands of people came to see Bernie Sanders. Small groups came to see Hillary. The Republicans are smart. They went with the guy that got the biggest, that was drawing the most crowd. Mm-hmm. The Democrats, on the other hand, went with the person that had the smallest draw and ignored the person that had the biggest crowd. Well, that's what these promoters do. They see themselves bigger. They can't see.
Right.
Just like the Democratic Party could not see that Bernie was a man. He got the biggest crowd. Even now, they don't see it. They trying to find a way to get rid of him. He's the only one that people pay to see. Nobody paid to see Joe Biden. Nobody paid to see none of these people. It's burning. And once again, it's still burning. But that ain't what we want. And that's what happened when promoters is in the ring. This guy
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, this guy is drawing all type of money. People are going nuts over everything. But I want to be in that spot. I don't want to be there. Screw what you want. It's what the fans want. And once the guy is in the ring, and that's what ended up happening with the Democrat and Republican Party. You have to give the people what the people want. The Republican, the conservatives of this country, they wanted Trump. The Republican gave it to them. The liberals, they wanted Bernie. The Democrat didn't give them what they want. They gave them what they didn't want. Nobody wanted Hillary, except for the DOC. That was called Democratic Party.
The Democratic National Committee.
Yeah, they wanted Hillary, even though the people, if you look at the crowd back there, wanted this guy. I went to Florida one time, and who was the guy that used to? It was a Hawaiian guy, King Curtis.
King Curtis Ayakea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used to always tease me, because I went to Florida one time, and I sold the building out, just me. I was the main event. They bring me back the following month. They put me as a tag team with Dustin. We lost. They pinned me. King Curtis saw me a month later in another territory. He go, Tony Atlas, come to Florida, sell out the building. Tony Atlas was outdrawn, got bigger houses than Dusty Rhodes. More people paid to see Tony Atlas than Dusty Rhodes. Tony Atlas can't come to Florida no more. he got bigger than Dusty Rhodes. Now Tony Atlas can't come to Florida no more. True story. They never booked me again. Never booked me again. Because I drew money. Now I never figured, I said, why in the hell they don't want to book me again? And everywhere they put me, I sell it out. I didn't understand
That's
that.
wrestling, as they say. That's wrestling.
No, that's ego.
And it's bad. Look at what they
You cannot be a top wrestler. They're not taking nothing from Cody. He's a great athlete and one of my best friends. But to be a star in anything, singing, football, you have to have a very large ego. You have to have an ego. If you never be a star if you don't have an ego. But sometimes your ego gets in the way. It's hard for a person in the ring to step aside and let the brother man do the job. And that's not just in wrestling, it's just general in life. This guy's the best man for the job, but you want the job. Even though you know you're not the best person for this job. You want it anyway because that's what you want. If you're not the best man for it, just like they put the belt on Larry Holmes. They should have left it on Ali for a couple more years before they beat him up so quick and took the belt off of. People didn't want Larry Holmes to be champion. In fact, it made him the hatest man in America. The way he beat Ali, Ali had too much of a follower.
He was too over.
He was too over.
Well, let me ask you this, Tony, as we begin to wrap up this show. Let's just say you're Vince McMahon, you're Paul Heyman, you're in charge, you're creative of the Raw side. What would the finish of WrestleMania 36's main event be between Lesnar and McIntyre? What would the finish be? Tampa, Florida, April 5th, 2020, the birthday of Reno Chastain.
Well, you have to look back. I don't think that, first of all, I don't think that's the dream match.
No.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, WWE, especially on the Raw side, is desperate for a top babyface, and I give them credit for trying something different, something new. In the end, in my personal opinion, it's not personal, I just don't think McIntyre is going to be that guy. I think the experiment will fail in the end, and maybe he'll go back to maybe an upper mid-card guy, which isn't a bad spot. I just don't think he's main event material. But in the end, what would your finish be if you were booking, brother? Writing, I should say. What would you write for the finish?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
To be honest, because
But who would go over?
I don't see neither one of them being over.
I think Lesnar is over.
No.
You don't think he's over for what he does? No. I think every time you see him on TV, you know something interesting is going to happen or it's about ready to happen. No? Well, we disagree. That's fine.
Because
I'd keep it on Lesnar.
Well, no, because of what you told me.
What's that?
The ratings ain't up.
Well, he's not on TV a lot.
It ain't up when he on either.
Well, you know what? I'd have to study it episode by episode.
You see, whatever they get gotta be better than Undertaker. That's where the problem comes. Undertaker was their best access, but now it's his worst. Because none of them, even right now today, outdraw Taker.
Well, there's a rumor going around.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Taker, at one time, was their greatest access. Now Taker have became their worst enemy. Why? Without even trying.
Why is that?
They never found anything better than him. That's where the problem comes in at. See, these guys don't know how to what we call work. It's a difference between knowing how to work. Let me give you an example. You're in a movie theater. You're in a theater. You know you're in a theater. You drove there. You got your wife sitting there. You got your popcorn. You got your drink. You got everything. You're in a movie theater. You know you're in a movie theater. You're sitting there watching the movie. The girl is getting ready to open up the door. Jason, or whatever his name is standing there with a big old butcher knife. Now you sitting in the movie theater. You're not there. You're not in their house. And you sitting there, you go, watch out. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It draws you in.
Yeah.
Vince made his big mistake by getting rid of the old timers. The old timers knew how to work the audience. Taker came out of that era to make it. George Scott told me something about wrestling. He said, Tony, see all the people out there? I go, yeah. He said, I want to tell you something, kid. Everybody out there believe that wrestling is fake. It's your job to prove that it's not. And I said, how am I going to do that? He said, a musician, he pulled the rabbit out the hat. You're going to keep coming to that show until you learn how he do the trick. Once you learn how he do it, you don't come back no more. You don't do nothing in the ring you wouldn't do in a real fight. The reason he set me down and talked to me because Old Anderson chewed me out. I'm trying to make this story quick.
Sure.
I was wrestling George Two-Turn Harris. And I got up on the ring apron. And I punched him in the head 10 times. The people, they always count. It's a good thing to get people to count.
And Ole didn't like it.
You got to understand why. See, none of the guys got what you call ring psychology. They don't even know what that means. There's nobody there to teach it.
Right.
He got rid of the people that knew how to do it. These guys was out in the 60s and the 70s where people still didn't know. In the olden days, people used to ask that question. I used to get asked that question in the 70s all the time. By the 90s, nobody asked no more. Is wrestling fake? They don't ask that no more. Because after they see the matches, they know it is. Because there's no psychology in it. Everybody concentrates on the moves and they forgetting about the psychology of it. People want to go into this world of fantasy and they don't take them there. This right there, I get up on top rope. Now, prior to that, Ole Anderson had me to bench press 500 pounds on TV.
Right.
Okay? I had 22-inch arm. I punched this guy in the head 10 times. The people count 1, 2, 3. You see them doing it all the time. You see it all the time. The people is up at the moment because their adrenaline is gone. But when them same people get in their car and drive home, they start psychoanalyzing the match. They say, well, you know that's fake. If Tony Adams hit that guy one time, he'd kill him. Ole Anderson, when I came back to the dressing room, he said, you stupid piece of shit. You got shit for brain. In fact, you got drizzling shit for brain. You just smarten up everybody. I said, why is that? He said, you just punched him in the face 10 times with 22-inch arm and a 500-pound bench press. He said, who in the fuck gonna believe that a guy with them size arm, as strong as you, could punch a person in the face 10 times and not leave a scratch.
Right, right.
He said if his wife or girlfriend or his daughter punched him that many times, they would leave a bruise. He said, you just smarten them up. Nobody gonna believe that, Tony. Nobody can believe you can hit a man that many times and not knock him out. Either he the toughest SOB walking the face of the earth, or you the biggest punk of walking the face of the earth. And that's what they forgetting in these matches, the psychology of it. Nobody believed that. That's why when Jimmy Snuka got up on the top rope and gave a guy a splash, they were carrying on the stretcher, because nobody gonna believe that a 275-pound man could dive 10 feet on top of you and you're gonna get up and walk back to the freaking dressing room.
Right, all right.
Now you could drop a Mack truck on these some of the guns, they get up.
All right, well, Tony, I want to circle back to the point of contention here.
Well, that's the problem. The only person there that know how to do that is Undertaker and Triple H. Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar, they don't know how to make it look believable.
You don't think what Lesnar does looks
They're
believable?
not good. They don't know how to make it look believable. I watched Brock. He's not believable.
Why isn't he believable?
Because he don't know. He don't have no ring psychology. It was never taught to him. Who's going to teach it to him? Vince got rid of these guys. Most of these guys are dead now. The psychologists came out in the 50s and the 60s. It was taught to us in the 70s. It was passed on to us in the 70s. George Scott told me, never throw more than 3 punches. You watch most of my matches, I never threw a lot of punches.
Right.
Nobody gonna believe it.
Right.
Nobody gonna believe that I could lift a man up. I'm 6'2". A man gonna fall 7 feet out the air and get back up and drop kick me.
Right.
They do
You're
freaking
right.
moonsaults off the top rope on people, and the guy get up.
The lack of selling nowadays is despicable.
No, it's unbelievable. It's like Power Rangers. What's the difference between WWE and Power Rangers?
Why bother to do the move? It has no impact if you don't sell it. Why bother to do it? That drives me insane.
That's why you think that's why Taker is so great, because he knows these things. He was taught by the guys that, see, back in the old days, we had to depend on ring psychology. It have to be believable. That's why Andre never took a slam until Hogan game one.
Right.
I mean, he took one for Harley Race, but he didn't want to.
He took a couple, but they weren't televised.
That wasn't televised. I mean, Harley Race, he went up because, Harley was just strong as hell. But that's how it was. The object, when people come in, they know it's a show. It's your job to confuse them. When they go out and say, well, wait a minute now. When we used to go outside the ring, you know what the old time would tell me? Lay it in, kid.
Because when you're close to them, right.
Lay it in is another word, mean shoot with it. Hit me for real. That's what laying it in means. Lay it in. I hit Gene Anderson one time outside the ring. He said, you frickin' C. You know what? Go in.
C?
Yeah. They call women that. I don't like saying it. Well, you could say it.
All right. Cunt?
You frickin' C. With them big arms, that's as hard as you could hit. So I hit him as hard as I could. He said, yeah, that's how you do it, kid. Lay him in there. I said, why you want me to hit you so hard? He said, Tony, the people is only a foot away from us.
Yeah.
They could see.
That's psychology.
That's psychology. You do not let, it's like pulling a rabbit out the hat. They would keep paying to see you do that trick until they figured out how you do it. There was another funny story. They had this guy called Tex somebody, big tall guy.
Tex somebody, okay.
Yeah, what was his name? He got in trouble in Japan for raping a girl or something.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a high-quality individual.
Yeah. Well, they all were like that. Anyway,
a lot of rape in
Anyway,
Japan.
an old lady one time, people used to throw things in the ring those days. She threw a paper cup, and it hit him in the back of the head, and he took a bump over the top rope. He didn't know it was a paper cup. He thought he was hit with something else. He took a Tex McKenzie. Tex McKenzie.
I don't know Tex.
You got to look him up. To look him up. Tex McKenzie was name. And he got hit with a paper cup, and he took a bump over top of the rope. So what the old timers did, if you don't feel it, don't sell it.
It's a good philosophy.
How many times people come and tell you they see a guy take a bump and a drop kick is a mile away?
Right.
And the guy taking a bump anyway.
Take the bump.
Because it's part of the program.
Yeah.
The old timer, if you don't make contact, they're not going to sell it.
Tony, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 36, Tampa, Florida, after you sign hopefully thousands of autographs at WrestleCon, Lesnar and McIntyre are going to get it on in front of 70, 80,000 in Tampa. What's your finish if you're the booker? Is Lesnar's time done, or is it McIntyre? Should he be the king of the castle? Or
Not yet.
I wouldn't give it to him either.
Not yet. Too soon.
Too soon. Would you give him a
soon.
remarkable opponent before you give him the belt? Like a Triple H. Have him go over on Triple H first. Someone like that.
I wouldn't beat Triple H. That's all they got to follow Undertaker.
Well, like Triple H, you're going to see him maybe once a year. So.
Well, see, here's the thing about Triple H, and like I keep saying 1,000 times, the thing about Triple H and Undertaker, they know how.
That's fine, but they're not doing anything, Tony. Undertaker and Triple H, you're talking about less than a handful of matches a year.
Well,
You got to be realistic.
Well, I am being realistic.
Well, if they're not working anymore, okay, you got to be realistic with who is available.
It's hard now because it ain't what one match could do. You can have 10. You can have 10 matches. 9 of them matches is believable and tough, but all you need is that one. You got to realize why people used to come to matches. They come there to catch you. They tell the kids, well, you know this is a show, this is fake, you know this is fake. They telling the kids this when they come in.
Right.
They come in with the idea it's all a show. The object, when they leave out of there, they should be confused. We used to play tricks on fans years ago. A guy would come up to me and say, hey, is wrestling fake? And I go, no. He said, oh, yes, it is. And then another guy come and say, is wrestling fake? And I go, yeah. Oh, no, it's not. I saw Blackjack. And that's they just want to debate with you. If you go along with them, they would tell you the part that something they saw that made them think that it was.
Right. That's that's kind of funny you said
understand?
that. Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Because they didn't really know.
All right. Well,
they didn't know if it was or not because after they leave, they go in thinking it's fake. They leave out wondering.
Well, all right, Tony.
And now with the autograph signing, you watch next time you have your show. Guys out there act like they're half dead, right? Half dead, getting beaten up. And then they come autograph signing and they're okay. We used to get juice in the older days.
Color.
You couldn't even go into the store. The old timers say you got to sell it all the way out of town.
Good philosophy.
These guys don't even sell it back to the dressing room. As soon as the match's over, they pop up like nothing happened and walk around. And they laying around like they're half dead. They don't realize the fans looking at that. This guy laying around, and then he jump up, drop kick guy, pin the guy. Hey, I'm okay now. He's not selling no more. No psychology.
Selling is the lost art to me.
Yes.
But we could debate that.
I would say this
it's not
real
a debate.
quick
We could complain about
real
it for
quick
an
story.
hour.
Dick
Sure.
Murdoch.
Yeah.
I was wrestling Dick Murdoch. Dick Murdoch said, work the arm, kid. So I hit, put his arm, punched his arm, dropped the elbows on, did everything to his arm. So Murdoch going to make a comeback on it. He's going to start fighting back. So Murdoch threw that bad arm. They go, Then he opened his trunk, took that bad arm, put it down in his trunk like this, and started beating with the gun arm. And he never moved that arm no more in that building, in that town. When he went to his car, it was that arm. When he walked back to the dressing room, it was that arm. When he stopped to sign autograph, he was still selling that arm. Because he knew the first time they see him use that arm, they're going to say, I told you that was fake. He would not use that arm for nothing. Even was in the dressing room, he went in the shower holding that.
Why in the dressing room?
Because just in case because they had the marks used to bring the stuff back in the dressing room.
Oh, I see.
Just in case the mark beat him, they wouldn't even let not one individual. When I was training, Johnny Heidemann was training me. He was showing me how to throw working punches and working kick. All of a sudden, he kicked me in the stomach as hard as he could. I went down and said, what the hell was that for? What I do wrong? He said, sorry about that, kid, but a mark just came in. It was a janitor. I wanted to kill that damn janitor. Because now they had to beat me up for real.
Yeah.
Because this guy is standing there. So the family, Gene Anderson went over and told the guy, said, hey, you get out of here, we busy. And then Gene said, okay, y'all can lighten up on him. He's gone now. They used to believe in protecting their secret, because once the people know how you do your trick, they don't pay to see it no more.
Well,
And so every match is smarting the people up. That's why you don't get them heated comebacks no more. That's why you don't get the passion out of the people you get no more. Because as soon as that match is over, every wrestler jump up and say, hey, that was a show, guys. A move is only as good as your opponent sells it. If it means nothing, if your opponent don't put it over, the people is not going to put it over, it means nothing. You see a guy do a moonsault, most spectacular move I ever see. Then the guy jump up and beat him. They looking at moves.
Yep, you're right.
It's
probably the most athletic roster that we've ever had in WWE, but the lack of selling, it makes it mean nothing.
They don't know how to work.
We
work.
agree on that. But I'll say this, Tony, we're wrapping up now. Drew McIntyre, hopefully we're wrong. I'd like this. Drew is a good guy. He's worked very hard to get to the position he's in. Maybe if they give him a shot as the champion or the top babyface on Raw, maybe it works. Personally, I don't see it working. Tony thinks he needs a little bit more time. We'll see. But Tony, before we go, I have to mention this to you. We lost a friend here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation, someone that was a dear fan of yours, Marge Doucet, actress. She's appeared in many soap operas, Guiding Light, All My Children. She was known from Star Trek. She was in a movie with Elvis from the golden days of Hollywood. Sad to hear about Marge's passing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched Guiding Light or All My Children, but she was a fan of yours, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. You have to give me a picture of her one day.
You don't know her by name?
No.
You have no idea who I'm talking
No.
about? All right, well.
Huh. What size shoe she wore?
Well, I think Marge's walking days are over, Tony.
You never know.
Well,
I could bring the spirits back, brother.
all right, well, we'll have to talk about that story from Spain again when the ghost was in your room. All right, for the Hall of Fame of Mr. USA, Tony Ellis, I'm Dan Marotti. Folks, we implore you to check out BostonWrestling.com. Get the tickets to all these great events we have coming up. Saturday night, March the 28th, Somerville for MWF Project X Loose Cannons. That's going to be a really cool 18-plus experience. There's going to be booze for those 21-plus. It's going to be a hard-hitting night. It's going to be edgy compared to some of the other stuff we usually do. Tony, myself, Zeb Colter, Dutch Mantel. What's the other one? Jerry Brisco is going to be with us in Tampa. All right, Tony's had enough. And then the big one, MWF, back to the 80s WrestleFest Saturday night, April the 11th at Memorial Hall at Tony's favorite address, 590 Main Street in Melrose. You got Tony, Jake the Snake, Road Warrior Animal, Paul Orndorff, Brutus Beefcake, Axe and Smash Demolition, the genius Lanny Poffo. It's going to be a fan reunion you're not going to forget, with a great night of live wrestling to go along with the autographs, post photos, Q&A, and everything else. Again, for the you talk about ghosts, Tony ghosted me. I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you Thursday night at MWF Ultra. Good night.